My next guest says these additional tariffs can't come soon enough as he's had to close 2 plants here in recent years. Joining us for more is Barry Zekelman, the chair and CEO of Zekelman Industries. It's the largest independent steel pipe and tube manufacturer in North America. And I don't know anything about steel pipe and tube, Barry, so please try to break this down for me. What has been happening? We've had a lot of these tariffs going back to the first Trump administration. They've been in place for a long time. What has been happening to your business?
Yeah, I mean, tariffs go back a long way, but what's happened is, President Trump put in 232 tariffs on aluminum and steel. He negotiated with certain countries to back down those tariffs and put in place kind of a quote-unquote quota system, if you will, and they'd agree to limited imports. But what's happened is a lot of those countries have violated those agreements. I mean, Mexico in particular with us, I mean, their imports of steel conduit have gone up 8- and 9-fold, decimating our industry, taking it from 2% market share to 20% market share. So there are targeted tariffs that need to happen. And I think, President Trump putting in a trade policy like this is trying to get the conversation going. But more importantly, it's not just about tariffs on steel and aluminum that the producers make per se. I think we have to look further down the value chain, the whole supply chain and what this product goes into. U.S. Steel, Cleveland-Cliffs, Nucor, SDI all sell me steel, but they wouldn't be in business without me. So you have to look at the consumer of this product and then what we compete against. And we compete against products that are using steel from the likes of China and India and other countries like this, shipping them in through the trade back door, if you will, like Mexico, and then taking over our markets with dumped products. So they're circumventing other dumping duties that are already on the steel, transforming it into another product and quote unquote changing the country of origin, right, and a substantial transformation, and otherwise coming in under the guise of these trade agreements, all at the expense of our communities, our workers, and our business.
Barry,
and
let me ask you something.
Like that.
So our guest at the top of the hour made a point that I think a lot of people themselves learned in school or are curious about, which is to say, if Mexico, China, others are going to dump cheaper steel into the global marketplace and other players can use that steel to make things more cheaply that ultimately compete with U.S. goods in the global marketplace, then if we tariff what's happening here in order to protect our industries, are we just going to end up losing in the global export race?
No, I mean, it's an easy argument to make because it's not that sophisticated. It's okay, we're going to put a tax on it or a tariff, and it's going to cost more, and the consumers will have trouble. It's actually the other way around. Look what happens when you take product out of making it in America. You take jobs away from Americans. You take capital investment away. The last time 232s were put in, the U.S. steel industry announced $30 billion of investment here in the most efficient and modern steel mills in the world. I've invested over $1 billion in my company in plants, becoming way more efficient. We're the most efficient tube producer in the world. But the product that we buy to make our steel of is 80% of the cost that goes in. So when you have that as dumped product as the substrate, then countries can target you, annihilate an industry, and then they own it.
No.